is what we were afraid was going to happen. We have tornado warnings being issued, not in our immediate viewing area, but getting awfully close. So I want to focus in on one that we have in Robeson County over the Lumberton area. That one moving to the north at 55 miles per hour. We have another one that was just issued from the Wilmington Weather Service. That one in Brunswick County. That one also moving to the north at 55. Moore County is now under a tornado warning. Okay, let's get the prompter switched for me if we can. I want to go ahead and get to our view here. Let's go here. I want to go zoom in to see what's going on in Moore County. So we knew that this was going to happen. We knew we were going to get tornado warnings. The warning's still not in on the box yet, so I'm going to read directly from the National Weather Service in Raleigh. This is a tornado warning that includes the northwestern portion of Moore County. This is going to be in effect until 9:45 this morning. The current position, it's 10 miles northwest of Pinehurst. Chris Michaels will pull up that camera for us. And it's also 12 miles southwest of Carthage, moving to the north at 55 miles per hour. This is moving really, really fast. So if you are in Moore County, you need to take cover right now. Let me see here. I want to just see if it's been seen or if this is from radar detection. This is radar indicated rotation. Okay, so now that I know that, let's go ahead and pause the clock here. I want to zoom into Moore County. The tornado warning has now popped up into Moore County. So this is where it is right here. The tornado warning until 9:45 this morning, and it does include the Robbins area. So if you are in the Robbins area, you need to take cover. I want to show you the shear rate here. Hang on just a moment. Someone is taking control of my, there we go. Here's the shear rate, and it does look like we have some weak to moderate rotation in the southern part of this warning area. Also, want to take a look at the velocities. We like to look at that when we have tornado warnings. When you see the reds and greens very close to each other, that's where you have the indication of some rotation, and we do have that indication. I want to zoom in now onto some of these roads and get a look at where exactly the rotation is. So if you're in the Alberta area, you need to be in your safe place. If you're in Eagle Springs, get in your safe place now. Again, this is moving very fast to the north at 55 miles per hour. So some other locations that this is headed towards, the Zion Grove area. And then if we look more to the north, obviously Robbins, you need to be in your safe place as well. Grab your phone with you. You can watch us on the WRL News app, get to your safe spot, and you can continue to watch our coverage. But right now we have a tornado warning that is in effect for part of Moore County until 9:45 this morning. We do see that rotation. Let's look at the reflectivity. Sometimes you can see what looks like a comma or a hook shape, and that kind of helps you indicate where the tornado might be located. But with tropical systems, there's a lot of rain, and sometimes it's really hard to do that, and that's kind of the case that we have right now. But the shear rate helps us out to figure out where the rotation is. This is something that we often watch in times of tornado warnings. And then we really like to look at the velocities as well. So if you look right here in this area that you see here, this is a look at where we have the rotation right now. It's just to the south of the Zion Grove area, right along 211. Let me clear this out. Looks like we got a new scan here. So it's now the rotation right over the Zion Grove area. So if you're in the Zion Grove area, you need to take shelter immediately. Get to the lowest level of the building that you're in. Get away from any windows as well. I want to do a storm track so that we can let our friends know that are on the northern side of this warning so that they know exactly when this is going to get into their area. Let's see here. Oh, it's moving really fast. I'm going to have to redo this and zoom out a little bit. When we have these tornado warnings with tropical systems, they move fast. So we got to zoom way out to get the correct motion and movement. It's going at 55 miles per hour. That thing is really trucking. All right, so I don't see any towns listed in here, but Robbins, you need to take shelter immediately right now. We do have, looks like fairly decent rotation now showing up just to the south of the Robbins area, right near the Zion Grove Grove area. This road here, let's zoom in and look at some of these roads. Oak Ridge Road, if you are in that area, you need to be taking shelter. What's just north of that? Ben Salem Church Road, the rotation very close to you as well. Again, this is moving fast at 55 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and go over to meteorologist Chris Michaels. He has the Pinehurst camera up right now, and this looks pretty impressive in Pinehurst, Chris.
Yeah, this is looking really rough. So you got the rain kind of going sideways there. So if there is anything on the ground, which we don't really have an indication of that right now, it would be rain wrapped. So that's one thing to keep in mind, because you're not going to go outside and try and check this thing out. It's not going to look like one of those Great Plains tornadoes. But you also notice how the water is collecting on the greens there in Pinehurst. So this is also an indication of some flood potential, although right now the more immediate threat is the tornado warning. So you do want to seek lower ground. Amy, if you don't mind, I've got to switch over to 2 over here. So I just have to briefly take control of the graphic, or the looks like I'm having a hard time doing that over here on this machine. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and show you kind of the future of these storms. Futurecast is showing by 10:15 getting into Cumberland and Harnett counties. For the Triangle, if you're watching from Wake and Johnston counties, you still have some time. But what you need to learn out of these storms is that they're moving so quickly. So if you do have a tornado warning that's issued, just get in your safe place right away. You're going to be your interior room, away from windows. I know especially in Wake County and Johnston County, with all the new builds going on, there's not a lot of basements, right? So you're going to want to get into the lowest part of your house, away from windows. By lunchtime, we're still going to be monitoring that threat for tornadoes near and to the east of the Triangle. So if you're watching from Wayne and Wilson counties, now's your time to prepare and take action if you have a tornado warning, which we do in Moore County.
Right, and I want to show you the track now. We've added some towns on this. It's moving 55 miles per hour to the north, so it's moving very fast. You don't have a lot of time to react with these kind of tornado warnings, but it should be in the Robbins area around 9:28, in the Jugtown area 9:34, Bennett 9:39, Cheeks 9:41, Coleridge 9:43, Parks Crossroads 9:48, Mount Vernon Springs 9:49, and then up towards Siler City 9:51. That's when the tornado could be in your area if it holds together. Now, a lot of times with tropical systems, these don't last all that long. They kind of spin up fast and then they dissipate fast, just as fast as they started. So let me get control of the mouse here. I think Chris and I are fighting the mouse control here. That's okay. That's all right. I want to show you also a broad view here of the radar, just to let the rest of our viewing area know exactly what we're looking at. This is a tornado warning that we have in the very southwestern fringe of our viewing area, moving to the north fast at 55 miles per hour. The Triangle, we don't have any warnings. We have the heavier rain moving in, but it's really this band right here that we expect the potential for some rotation. So as this lifts to the north, we will likely have more and more tornado warnings issued, and we will let you know if another warning does get issued. I want to keep an eye on the National Weather Service chat, and they are also monitoring a cell in Cumberland County and Hope County. So let's pause the clock here. I want to zoom into those locations down here in Cumberland County and Hope County. I want to get a look at the velocities there. I don't see anything jumping out at me. Let me look at the shear rate. There's a little bit of shear down here in the southern part of Hope County. Also in Moore County, noticing more shear to the south of Carthage and also down towards Southern Pines where we have that camera. So this is a pretty large area where we do have some wind shear. And again, if you're just joining us, this is a tornado warning in effect for part of Moore County until 9:45. It's moving to the north at 55 miles per hour, very, very fast. The reflectivity on this, and it almost looks like we do have, I mentioned earlier, a comma shape. Sometimes we look for that for where the rotation is. It looks like it could be right in that location, which would be just to the south of Robbins. I want to zoom in and get a look at some of the other towns in the area. So Garner's Store, West Philadelphia, close to you. It looks like the worst of it is now north of the Zion Grove area. Let me look at the velocities here. It is moving very fast. The rotation is likely There's a little bit here, and there might be a little something right here too that we'll have to keep an eye on. So there's a couple of spots in Moore County that we're gonna have to watch. Let me just double check that we don't have any update from the National Weather Service. They're continuing, we did get an update, continuing the tornado warning until 9:45 for northwestern Moore County. It's moving now to the north at 60 miles per hour. So I want to go ahead and get another storm track. Let me zoom out a little bit for you. And I'm going to start in the area where we are seeing the strongest rotation, moving to the north at 60 miles per hour. All right, the rotation right about there. And we'll get a look at some of the towns. Siler City, let me see if I can add some towns here. Let me see. There we go. Yes. Yes, Ramsar at 950, Siler City 951, Cedar Falls 952. If you are in any of those locations that you can see on your screen, you need to take shelter immediately. I'm going to read off some of the towns in the line of this: Jugtown, Bennett, Cheeks, Coleridge, Parks Crossroads, Ramsar, Browns Crossroads, Franklinville, Siler City, Cedar Falls. If I just named your town, it was one of those towns you need to be in your safe spot. Safe place to be, that's going to be the lowest level of the building that you're in, away from any windows. Think about perhaps a closet that's in the interior of your house. Think about a bathroom that's away from any windows. So those are the locations that are currently in line for this particular warning that we have for Moore County. Robbins, definitely get to your safe place as soon as you can. Let's zoom in a little bit closer here. We'll get a look at some of these roads, and we've got right near the Garner's store area. It's just to the west of the Garner store and Robbins area. That's where the strongest rotation appears to be. It almost looks like the rotation has weakened just a little bit, which is certainly good news and not surprising, just based on what we know about tropical systems. They pop up fast, they dissipate fast, but we also know they can be pretty strong. We learned that with Debbie when it moved through here. It brought numerous tornadoes, and some of them were very, very strong and caused a lot of damage. So Chris and I are going to be here to monitor this for as long as the threat exists. Let's take a look at the reflectivity, and I want to pan out and show you a wide view of the entire viewing area. This is the only warning that we have right now for Moore County. It's for the northwestern part of Moore County until 9:45 this morning. It's moving fast to the north at 60 miles per hour. So take shelter if you are in that part of Moore County. Even if you're in the southwestern part of Chatham County, you probably need to go ahead and get into your safe spot just in case this crosses over into that area. I want to loop this so you kind of get an idea of the movement of this storm system as it's moving in. We did have a tornado warning for Robeson County as well. That has been allowed to expire, which is certainly good news. Just got something else from the Weather Service. Continuation of the tornado warning. Still radar indicated from the National Weather Service. Let's go over to Chris Michaels. He has a look at some of our cameras. Chris?
Yeah, so I just showed you this Pinehurst camera and just want to give you an idea of how quickly these storms are moving. It was less than 10 minutes ago that we showed you basically the chaotic view that was going on. Yes, it's still breezy, but it's much calmer right now than it was just 10 minutes ago. What that should tell you is that if you get a tornado warning, have the alerts turned on your phone so that you get those, is that these things are going to be moving very quickly. And as Amy has been showing you, this one in particular has been moving at 55 to 60 miles per hour. This is a threat that, again, we're going to monitor until about 2 p.m. or so. Want to give you a reminder, because I know it's frightening. When you're under a tornado warning, you kind of don't know what to do. You're like, okay, I can't take the TV into the other room with me. Take us on the phone. That's a great thing about technology right now. The WRAL News app. We're also streaming live on YouTube right now. So take your phone, your tablet into an interior room. Again, I know with a lot of places around here, especially Wake, Johnston, and Harnett counties, that you probably don't